that's the root of all evil in a negative sense when you're harming other people.
Sure.
Money has a function and there's a positive greed. So again, imagine your life or the world without money in it. Everything that you consume, everything that you experience these days is a function of the monetary system that's built up over hundreds of years. And we've come from the barter economy to be where we are today. Without it, society literally would not function. So understand it and respect it. That's the first thing. And understand the difference between positive and negative greed and do the right things. And what you've also got to understand as well is money itself. In enterprise, for example, there's only two inputs to enterprise: capital and labor. And what you've got to understand is that money itself is a commodity. And labor is a commodity as well. And they both have prices. So capital has a price and labor has a price. Sure. So for capital, the price is interest. And for labor, it's the price that labor is willing to work for. So there's a labor market. And in any enterprise, there's just two inputs, capital and labor. And capital markets are absolutely necessary. Society would not function without capital markets because capital is a commodity and has a price and it needs to be transacted. And it allocates resources as optimally as possible because there's demand and supply for capital and demand and supply for labor. And when labor wants too much of the share of enterprise and capital gets too less, capital leaves. It goes away. And that's not good for labor long term. So when you understand the function of money and capital markets, you understand that it's absolutely necessary for them to exist. Because in all circumstances in history, when capital has been locked out of the market and left, there's been widespread depression. Yeah. Money makes society work. And a small problem is that, these days it's very popular to have this view of the world, this view of money, that the system is broken and doesn't work. Well, it does, because there is no better alternative. It's not perfect, but there's no better alternative. And just because, for example, someone was born with no capital doesn't mean the system is wrong or unfair. They just need to understand the role of money and understand its function. So all of these messages that we get about money, so money is the root of all evil. No, it's not. Greed is. Money doesn't make you happy. Well, people that I know and myself with money who have done quite well for themselves, we know that, that we're not stupid. These guys aren't stupid. And they absolutely know it doesn't make them happy. They're generally speaking exactly the same as they were when they were young and had no money. They're exactly the same type of people, but they're just a little bit older and a little bit wiser. And the other sayings, so the more money you have, the more problems you have. Well, it's just not the case. The more money, you only have problems if you don't manage your money properly. So if you manage it well, then you're gonna do okay. You're actually probably gonna be more comfortable, more relaxed, have more freedom, more choices, and probably it helps you become happier. It doesn't make you happy, it just helps you become happier.